All right, traders, this is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Morning Edge webinar. How's it going? Hope everybody's having a great weekend. Hope you guys or had a great weekend. Hold on, I'm just making sure everybody in the chat room knows that we're starting right now. So I think you got to be a little careful here. As I mentioned, oh man, I was just looking at this Canadian. This Canadian's so weak. It's crazy how weak this currency is, or how strong the Canadian currency is. And remember, this is one of those situations, and I'll talk a little bit about this. I actually think, and I'll reiterate here, I actually think the dollar Canadian is going to at some point break through these lows and trigger, this big double top, right? You get a lot of people excited about a bearish move, and then what we'll end up doing, in my opinion, is stopping like at this support down here and bouncing like a bat out of hell. That's what I think is going to happen. If you look at this long-term dollar Canadian, and yeah, we could be a dollar bear and everything else, but to expect, at least at this stage in the game, after as big of a move as we've seen, to see a move to 94 cents, I just don't see it right now. I'm not saying that it can't happen over time. I'm just saying I can't imagine that we're just going to plow through there and start making our way towards those levels. So especially after such a big, strong move over the last year, you know what I mean? So that's why I think we might be due for like a false breakdown if we even make it, you know what I mean? I just know that at this point we're very oversold. So let's actually delete some of this stuff, and we'll just start here with the Canadian since we're on the Canadian dollar. By the way, how many of you ladies are listening in that are moms? If you're a mom and you're listening in, you could use the chat box. If you are, I just want to say happy Mother's Day to you. I know we have some ladies in the chat room, so I just want to, if you're a mother and you're in the chat room, I hope you all had. Lorraine, happy Mother's Day. Catherine, happy Mother's Day. I think Iris is here. Iris, if you're listening in, happy Mother's Day. Yeah, I'll tell you, it's so this next year, just so you guys know, my mother is retiring from the state of California. She'd moved out there years ago to take a consultant job, not a consultant job. It was a contractor job at the time to be she's a programmer. She's an Asian lady, and she does like old school programming. It's actually a pretty funny story. She was trying to, just about 15 years ago, she was like learning all this new technology, the programming languages and stuff. And then the state of California tried to convert everything over to like this new language and failed miserably. They spent all this money and they failed. So they had to go back and hire all these older, when I say older, I'm talking the state of California was looking for these programmers that were like in their mid 50s, looking for all these programmers because they had to revert back to this old, like I forget what the language is, but old system, after they wasted like hundreds of millions of dollars trying to convert everything over. And so anyway, make a long story short, my mom's finally retiring from the state of California, and she's moving back home later this year. And I'm super excited about it because I haven't lived in the same state as my mother for almost 25 years. And so I got a lot of making up to do with my mom. I'm so excited about it. It's I cannot wait. Fortunately, she's super healthy. Maybe a little crazy, but aren't all moms? Like, I'm just not talking about, you ladies. I'm talking about like your own mother. Anyway, yeah, I'm super excited about it. I got so much making up to do with my mom, and I try to call her as much as possible. Anyway, it feels like, such an empty part of my life that I can't wait for it to be fulfilled. Anyway, okay. Let's talk about. Sorry, I'm totally on a different. I need to focus here. All right, so the dollar Canadian. I do think it is possible that we move down to this 120. Now, this is really key support that's got to hold, and this is where that double. This is where the double top starts, triggering, right? Let's go back over to the daily chart here. This low right here, let's figure out what that low is. That low is 120.61. That is really key support today. I'm writing it down, and I'm going to put a lot of asterisks there. 120.61. Okay. So that's really key. And, if you think about this, could we get down there? Sure. I mean, we have to get back above, see the spike low right here. We have to get back above 121.25 to turn bullish. Or at least take the downside pressure off. Right? Okay. One of the things I just bought, just so you guys, if you guys are not in the chat room, I'm going to tell you what I just did. I just sold some Canadian yen this morning. Okay. Why, you may ask, is because you guys got the update on ForexAnalytix, because we hit the 161% extension of this move. So that's why I think that the Canadian could indeed show us a little bit of a reversal around here today. Yeah. So anyway, just little food for thought. Okay. Matter of fact, let me do this. I'm going to put in a pattern play right now. New pattern in play. 1, 8, 9. Just give me a second, guys. You guys get to see how I do this stuff on the fly. Target would be, I want to come back to here, 88.30. And risk at this point, I don't want it to get much above here. So we could, so I'm going to put 90.26, a little bit past the 27, actually past the, it's a decent risk reward. Hold on. I gotta fill all this stuff out. Hold on. You guys want to see how the sausage is made, right? 90 is fine. Stop loss 90.27. Target 88.30. I've got a 4-to-3 risk reward ratio. It's good. Okay. Out. So just want you guys to know, because I do think that the Canadian's going to stall somewhere around here. So I want to be short some Canadian yen. Just counter trend. Oh, dang it. I put it in full size. Dang it. Anyway, so let's go back over to the Canadian. So one of the other things that I picked up this morning is I picked up some dollar Mexican peso here, which is holding support pretty well. And since you're not in the chat room, some of you are not in the chat room, I picked this up at 1987 earlier, but I think there's a lot of support down here in 1985. And the one thing about the dollar Mexican peso is I think it's holding up pretty well. So let's go over dollar Mexican peso. Now, resistance intraday is going to be all the way back up here. All this previous resistance should be current support, or current resistance, excuse me. Previous support should be current resistance. That's at 2015. I think we're just going to be range bound here for a while. Okay. Let's go over to the euro dollar. The euro is bullish. But you know what's interesting about the euro? I'm surprised the euro is not able to expand on these gains. I mean, we can definitely make it to 122. I'm just surprised that we haven't done so already. So let's write that down. 122. I do think we have to be bullish right now. Okay. And I think we have to stay bullish while we're above. Well, let's even see if we can get a dip back down here. But I do think that this, let's get rid of this really quick. Get rid of this. I still think that we can continue to make higher highs, higher lows. So we could dip like this to 2075 and then bounce. So I'm going to say 120.75. Okay. And I'm going to make this quick, guys, because I forgot I have a meeting in half an hour I've got to attend to. So bear with me. So cable, like I told you guys during the webinar, I think that we're up against a lot of key resistance. I'm going to write this up or out to, I should have just kept that target at 141.50. I would have hit the target. Dang. 141.80. That's the 88% retracement. I think it's very overbought. 141.80, but it is bullish. We're outside of the triangle. And while we're above the breakout point here, which is at 140.20, 140.15. Okay, this should be support on the way back down. Aussie dips back down to this point now, which is 78.20. Man, we'd be lucky if we get down there today. I doubt it. But it's bullish now, and we should target, this is the 161% extension of this last move, comes in at 79. I'm going to call it 79.05. Kiwi channel resistance comes in at, well, we'll just write the 78% retracement, 73.50. I guess we should stay bullish while we're in this channel, but dips down to 72.10 should be supported. That's this level right here, right? I'm going to write 72. Okay. Dollar Canadian, again, we already went to that. Swissy's heavy. Next support, we had Hugo in our chat room, was like, I'm looking for, the dollar Swiss when it hits support. I think it's right here. The next support level for the Swissy is 89.30. Resistance now is 90.75. 89.30. I think that's pretty key support. It is bearish. While below 90.75. US dollar, Norwegian krona. Like the dollar Mexican peso, I'm surprised we haven't hit lows. Now, we will still mark up at this point in time because this is a descending trend line. These highs right here, that now comes in at 837. So while we're below 837, We remain bearish. Next support, 8.15. Dollar Mexican peso. Now, obviously, we have support there. We wrote all this down. I need to also write down below that 1978. I should write that down because I do think in case this gives away. Shoot. I need to do both. It needs to both be up there. Let's just keep them both up there. Okay. Dollar yen. $108.35, $109.65. I don't think we've changed at all, right? 108.35, 109.65, and we leave that in range. Dollar index, we're at the 78% retracement right now, but that spike low, 89.65. Just in case. $89.65. We have to be bearish while below here. If we get back above here, I'm going to be a little nervous with dollar shorts. Just so you guys know. I think if we get back above 90, let's call it 90.50. Okay. Gold, silver. Remember, gold's. I'm a little worried about it that we're starting to struggle here. Next resistance comes in at 1855. Support is at 1800. Actually, support should be right here. Be right there. 1826. So let's write that down. 1826. And next resistance, 1855. It's bullish. Silver. We're at the 618 retracement, but let's look at the underside of this. Whoops. Why is that where it's at? Let me figure that one out. I just screw up my line. Nope. Okay. Okay. Trend line, trend line, trend line, underside, top of the resistance. I'm going to write down 28.88, which is the 78% retracement. That is really, it's going to be key. 28.88. 28.88. 20. I did. This right here is key for bulls to hold, which is 26.65. It's bullish near term. Bitcoin still struggling at 60K, 52,400. Same as 52,400. 60K. I have not yet watched that Elon Musk monologue, by the way, or the Saturday Night Live stuff yet. I have not had a chance due to Mother's Day craziness, but maybe you guys have. And was it good? I heard it was great from a lot of people, actually. S&P, because he's,
Were they all cult members or? Just a
No,
few of
no,
them.
just because Elon Musk he's on the spectrum. He's got he's got Asperger's. And yet look at him, one of the wealthiest people in the world, which is awesome. Sorry, look, S&P. Don't tell anybody, but I think Steve has Asperger's too.
100%. And as you said, it's awesome.
He just has burgers, not Asperger's.
Yeah,
I think he's
and plenty of them.
By the way, Elon Musk called it a hustle, Dogecoin. That's why.
Yeah, he did, and he
Wow.
totally discredited it, and it didn't matter. Well, I guess it did. I think it did come down a little bit because of that, but it's still a big farce. It really is.
Yep.
But it doesn't matter, right? People are buying it, and that's the mania part of it, which is just crazy to me. Okay, anyway, let me finish this up. 4,200 is support now. 4,210 resistance. We hit the 127% extension and stopped. Remember, we wrote this down last week. 4250. I think we kept writing down 4245. We knew it was the 127% extension. So 4220, 4250, right? 4250. And then support now is going to be 4210, which is, hold on really quick. It's these highs right here. You just forget this high for a second. Let's go down here, just because you can imagine we just slumped through, and I'm going to actually take this and I'm going to just pull it across, because imagine this for you guys that are trading S&Ps here. The little head and shoulder pattern, right? 127% extension. We rejected it. Comes down, breaks through the support. Everybody gets short. Then we bounce right there and stick it to all the shorts. So 4210, I think, is support today. Okay. And it's still bullish. So there's your bias chart. It's finished. Let me ask really quick. Stelios, your kids are gone. How happy are you?
They just came back actually from school. But yes, first day at school. I've got the champagne out. Everything's good.
You were drunk today while the kids were gone. That's awesome.
Yeah, baby.
I almost cried myself to bed once I actually let him, at the doorstep of the school. I was like, it was too good to be true. Almost unbelievable.
So Jason did go to school as well?
Of course.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great. Okay, guys. Well, here's your bias chart. I just want to say thank you guys all for being David asked what channel was Musk on. Yeah, just go on YouTube and search Saturday Night Live. He did a skit, comedic skit. So go watch that. Anyway, Steve and Stelios, keep it to about 20 minutes, guys, because I have a meeting I got to attend to. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Sure thing, mate.
Thank you, Blake.
See you guys.
We can even make it 1 minute if you want. Just say hi to everybody and close
hi,
the webinar.
bye.
Yeah.
Okay, so a few things we've touched upon. Dale talked about yields on F.A.C.E and how they bounced back up, and actually that was impressive, I must say. Then again, 150 had been really, really big resistance for a while, and then they went down dipped below 150, 10-year US, and then just came right back up. But what I'm looking at is commodities still, and I think they're just on fire basically. And there are many reasons for that. There was also the what was it, the pipeline in the US, which was closed because of a ransomware attack apparently, and it was pretty important pipeline. So that's given oil a little bit of a boost, but really it's not that. Obviously, it's about monetary easing and actually supply problems. It's not. I was looking at commodities and the way they've had these cycles, and the last big bull run was just before the 2008 crisis. And why was that? Well, because China was building everything they could build, right? If you remember that, the run up towards 2007, 2008. This time is different. It's this time it's different. It's supply issues, and it's not really that there's so much development and boom.
Huge excess
worldwide.
liquidity.
Exactly, and huge excess liquidity. Of course, anything dollar denominated, copper is all-time highs and just keeps going.
Expectations of more fiscal madness, which of course is connected to infrastructure spending and all that actually need commodities to
Yes, and you saw what Evans said, the Fed member, that there's going to be a long time, and we're going to need to see a lot of data before we do anything. So that tells you everything you need to know. And yes, there will be dips, but the general direction is just a lot higher. And I'm still long gold, silver, miners, that uranium ETF, that rare earth metals ETF. They're just going to the moon, basically. So I like that, and I'm just keeping those. And so yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Commodities is the main thing. Yields also I'm keeping an eye on, because I think yields is the one thing that can derail this whole risk on bonanza. So you have to keep a close eye on that. But for the moment, they seem pretty contained. And yes, we are higher than we were, a year ago post-COVID.
And I do think that this is another bullish consolidation. I mean, the chart looks like we're building a bull flag, so I expect higher yields. But I think that with all the narrative that's out there and all the mania, as long as the move keeps unfolding in an orderly fashion, the markets might continue, to ignore it.
Yeah, the markets don't like big, violent moves, right? So
yes,
even if we drift towards 2% on a 10-year, if it's done in an orderly fashion, like you say, and nothing, crazy, then
and you know how it is in a crazy market, either a bull or a bear one. Although I think nobody alive remembers a bear one. I'm kidding, but soon enough we'll get there. The narrative keeps changing to fit the price action. So soon enough, if yields start climbing like 2%, etc., you're going to start reading all those articles saying how the pickup in yields shows the strength of the economy, because a strong economy needs higher yields, which I agree with. A really strong economy has high yields. I mean, that's a given. But in this case, the climb higher in yields is going to be happening despite all the manipulation and all the bond buying from the side of the central banks, because who knows where yields would be at the moment if there was not all this massive buying from central banks of government bonds. I think we could now find ourselves in stratosphere levels.
Yep, quite possible. Yeah. So let's see. The big picture has not changed yet. We're still in the same twilight zone. But we keep going until something changes.
In any case, the dollar remains weak. Equities remain strong. It's it's the status quo. I mean, Aussie has broken out. Kiwi has broken out. I said since the very beginning that I didn't think that the Aussie is going to be a head and shoulders formation. And it's the usual trap that people fall into when they're trying to find a top at a trend.
Well, it never broke the neckline, right?
No, we never even came close to it, actually.
Yeah.
So I think it's more than clear the Aussie has broken out. The Kiwis, continuing the upside. Canadian, very strong. The NOK, very strong. By the way, we had Norwegian Cpi at 3%.
3%, yes.
Today.
Yeah, as expected, and way above target. They're still in line to hike later this year. At least
I believe they will actually.
From 0%, it's
they will, and they have the ability to do so because they're one of the few lefts that have a normal economy and not a phone economy. So they actually have the luxury of hiking somewhat. Of course, you always have to consider the environment you're working into. So when everybody else is stuck at zero, and unfortunately, you don't have the luxury of actually hiking as much as you should. because you still have to consider the comparative basis. But it is what it is. Here's the USD cut, by the way, just a few pips away from multi-year lows, and many people have the tendency to want to fade multi-year lows. But when you actually reach multi-year lows, there is a reason why you're at multi-year lows, right? So I think people should learn to think about it the right way and not the contrarian way. It's nice to be contrarian in many things. For example, when you see people piling on something massively, usually it's time to look the other way around. But sometimes you just can't go against logic and common sense. And commodity currencies at the moment pushing highs against the dollar is more or less common sense. I don't know how else to say it. Now, Blake already made a big mention about the cable and how strong it has been. We were always looking at this as a corrective move lower. We then talked about how it was building another corrective move lower once we broke through this channel, and guess what? We broke above it, and I think we should respect this technical move. Now, the rest of the commodity complex that we usually look at, like here is crude, probably still consolidating in some kind of a symmetrical triangle. Who knows? We might need more time to. First of all, the more we don't correct in price and we correct in time, the more bullish this signal is, right? Because after such a huge move higher, the fact that crude doesn't really want to just give away a decent part of its gains within a corrective move says all you need to know. But on the other hand, since the market decided to correct in time, that means that we might need to spend more time consolidating in this range before we finally break higher. So, respect this consolidation and just don't try to jump the gun at any given opportunity. I think it's better to wait for a breakout above the trend line resistance. Now, gold and silver. Gold approaching a very, very key confluence of resistances between 1850 and 55. So 1850, 1855, key triple confluence of resistances. So am I bullish? Yes, obviously, you know that. Would I be buying here? No. Why would you buy on a resistance, right? I mean, you had the opportunity to buy there after we broke out from the double bottom we formed here, but now so close to key resistance area, I don't think you should be buying here. You either wait for a breakout to the upside, or if you feel really brave, you can try shorting it. Personally, I'm not going to follow you in that, but some people, want to do it. Where did my silver market go?
It went to the moon.
Yeah, weird. I don't know. I mean, I had the ticker there.
Yeah, I remember that. You must have clicked X by accident.
Yeah, probably when I was working on my laptop, because it's much easier to do. So now you know what the problem is, right? I need to find which one it was. Was it this one? No. Because I have all my all my technical analysis on it. Nope.
Yeah.
Oh, don't tell me I'll have to. Oh, don't tell me I'll have to replot everything. That's going to be super annoying.
Try something. Mine always defaulted to FX colon XAGGUSD. Put FX colon. That's the one mine defaults to. Maybe you. Hey, there you go.
Oh,
you owe me, man. You owe me.
I totally do. So let's add it here. FX. You are my savior, Stelios.
You know it, man.
Okay, perfect. So, silver. at the 61.8% fib. We've broken out from this descending wedge. Now, we had a nice move, a nice run higher. We are at resistance. Same applies with gold. Am I bullish? Yes, I am. Would I be buying here? To be honest, I would buy both of them here if I was forced to buy and hold or sell and hold, I would obviously buy it, right? But do I think you're getting a good price in the short term? Yeah, likely not. So, just a little bit more patience if you don't have an exposure here. You have to wait a little bit. Now, look at what extremely strong bull markets do, like palladium, right? Had one indecision day on Wednesday, had a strong down day on Thursday up to a point, while and when it actually decided to pare back its losses before it closed. Then it had like a massive down day on Friday until it decided to pare back its losses and close with another pin bar. So, a market that, refuses to go down even though, intraday it shows a lot of weakness tells you all you need to know. And look at the candlestick we are building as we speak today. So probably, I was saying that we might have a corrective move back towards 2700. I don't think we're going to even make it there. Next move, 3256. Copper. Just look at this. Just, builds a formation that could be terminal and decides to go even more vertical and break above it. Yes, I know somebody will say that today's candlestick looks very nasty, and it does for the time being, but every time people have tried to fade these markets lately, you know what they've ended up doing, losing a lot of money. So yes, at some point from somewhere, it should get a very decent pullback. Perhaps now we have this zone of support, right? Perhaps back towards this zone of support, but I think as everything with intrinsic value, it's going to fly higher once again following that. So keep that in mind. And here is nickel. Nickel getting rejected from the 61.8, still underperforming, other equivalent markets we're looking at. I still think there is a possibility for more weakness in nickel before we see higher prices. Yes, it's going to go higher as well. I have no doubt. But among other markets, this is probably not the one I would be looking to buy, comparatively speaking. Right? I'm not saying it might have already found a low, and it might be on its way higher, and this might be a short-term consolidation before higher. But I see other markets that look more bullish than this one. So just based on that, I would be utilizing my capitals, to put it in work somewhere else. Let me go through some of your questions because we have to close up
like
today.
2 or 3 minutes, so let's have a look at a couple of questions maybe.
Earlier, so let's be fast. What do we have, Stelio?
Soybeans and CRSR, which is a gaming stock.
CRSR.
Looks like a bearish wedge.
Oh, it's Corsair. Yeah.
Corsair. Corsair.
Oh yeah, of course. I use a lot of Corsair products. No, not a lot anymore, but my water cooling solutions almost always are from Corsair, actually. And Corsair is a very decent company that makes hardware peripherals for gamers mostly. And they're decent. They're quite decent. Now, of course, I don't know the specifics of the company because, I know that the products are decent, but that on its own doesn't say much, especially in today's markets. But yes, it does look bearish to me. This is very troubling type of price action, especially considering the bullish conditions under which this market is trading, right? So, yeah, I would be very, very careful. This looks very heavy to me, and it looks like it wants to move lower, perhaps towards 22 and change. Stelio, remind me soybeans ticker.
I don't know the ticker. I've never traded them.
Yeah, I have pulled them up on occasion when people want, but soy. Okay, whatever. Let's use this CFD to begin with and see how reliable. My God. Just look at this. Unfortunately, it's a CFD, so it doesn't have too much price action. Anybody has a ticker with more price action so we can look back as well? Okay.
Try SOYB.
There it is.
Oh,
There it is. So last time we had a look at them, I was expecting more weakness. We got that, and now look at this massive bull market, right? Massive. Now, I'm going to tell you the obvious. This is a massive bull market, but this was a nice triangle.
we have to close after this, okay?
Yes, okay. This is likely a last leg higher, I would say, before a deeper correction. That's what I would assume, right? So would I be chasing soybeans higher? No, I wouldn't. Having said that, the market has done nothing wrong other than, clear RSI divergence. This market has done nothing wrong. I just believe, chasing it up here is irresponsible, right? So keep that in mind. I think there's going to be more opportunities in the future to buy soybeans, but I think that this market, as many other markets, is in desperate need of a pullback. Okay. Okay, sorry that we have to keep it short today. We'll have as much time as you want tomorrow. But we have an important meeting. So see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.